The Strike Force, the players who've lifted Manchester United to glory. Brian McClair, Mark Hughes, Lee Sharpe, Andrei Kanchelskis and Ryan Giggs. This is the story of the most formidable forward line in English football, the Strike Force. It was July the 1st, 1987, when Alex Ferguson took the first step that would bring new success to Old Trafford. Brian McClair's reputation as a goal-getter had made him the target of several clubs, but the United boss had made up his mind. Alex tied up the deal for a bargain £850,000.
The main reason was that Alex Ferguson made more of an effort than anybody else to get me to sign. And
what type of thing?
Well, he went right out of his way. I mean, he came to see me quite a few times. We had quite a long chats. We fell out a couple of times over negotiations, but he's still, even after that, he was still keen to sign me. Him and Archie Knox as well. They made a great effort, and it made me feel welcome. And there's not many people that would turn down the chance to come to Manchester United.
Striker was an obvious priority to bring in, and we looked at certain situations. We made an inquiry about Brian during that season, but Celtic obviously were not interested, and we knew his contract was up at the end of the season, which made it easy for us. And then it was Peter Beersway at Newcastle United, but they, as they always are with us, proved very difficult, and they didn't want to sell to us. We then faced, did we need to 1 or 2 strikers? So we went and did the business with Brian and went to tribunal with Celtic, which was unfortunate, but it's turned out a very, very good investment.
I mean, I liked him when I was a boy. I mean, it always sounds ridiculous. It's easy to say when you played, but I always liked him as an English team as a boy. I mean, I knew a little bit about him, obviously. And I had been here for Lou Macari's testimonial, which was a good occasion. And I'd been impressed with the stadium, obviously. But until I actually came down and all that and looked about, it's a big club. Celtic's a very big club. But Manchester United just seemed to be that bit bigger.
It's an empire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did Alex tell you what role he envisaged you playing?
Well, I wanted me to play as a striker, which suited me. Well, it suited me. I was happy to sign. I'd have played anywhere. It's probably consequences of proven. But I was just happy to be coming here because I mean, another thing about it. I mean, he's the manager of Manchester United, and he could have picked anybody, any striker he virtually wanted throughout most of Europe and Britain. But he decided they wanted me, and I've always appreciated that.
And when you arrived, what did you think of your first game at Old Trafford? The crowd?
Well, I mean, it was tremendous. We got a great reaction. The whole team as they go out, tremendous reaction. I mean, atmosphere-wise, good, very good. I mean, I played in atmospheres that was excellent, like Celtic Rangers games, which is just indescribable as regards atmosphere, but United was close to that. But to score the very first goal was a great feeling, really good feeling. I remember Gordon Strachan having the ball and made a run through the middle, and he played a lovely ball straight through, and I was 1-on-1 with the goalie. And Tony did me a good favour by diving over the ball. I've thanked him ever since. Yeah, he's done me a couple of favours actually.
In his last season with Glasgow Celtic, Chocky McClair scored 35 goals. It didn't take him long to show he could do the same thing south of the border. After scoring his first goal against Watford, he went on to become United's leading scorer of the season.
it was a great first season for him. And I think that coming to our club, it established him with the support. And over the period now, he's averaging over 20 a season for us, which is fantastic. And 850,000, I think you have to say, has been one of our best ever buys.
Most United fans, a lot of United fans obviously are very passionate about the club and they know a lot about the club. But I think they would have been happier with 4 people getting 19 league goals in the league championship. And I said that at the time as well. I did manage to break the 20 league goal, but we've still finished well behind Liverpool.
Altogether, McClair netted 31 times as United finished runners-up, and through successive seasons he continues to score with a style that justifies the faith Alex Ferguson placed in him.
Comes to Webb. He's got the cross in, and that's a lovely finish from McClair, made by Neil Webb. They've peppered the goal all evening.
Oh, he's had a great season. I mean, he didn't have the great start at Manchester United, but like this season he's been unbelievable. He's been scoring some great goals, linking up the midfield. It's so difficult to mark because he goes deeper into the midfield, and it's hard for a centre-half to mark him in there. And he's caused a lot of teams a lot of problems.
Well, they're very good players, aren't they? You know, McClair for me is a bit of an unsung hero. You know, the work that he gets through in United team, and he's very unselfish around goal as well.
2 against 2 at the back. McClair arriving forward for United. Kanchelskis stays on side. It could be 4 now. It is. It's McClair. Could be 5. It is. It's McClair.
I just think basically that he's gone for what he considers to be his ideal strike force. He brought back Mark Hughes. Brian McClair was, I suppose, the next Kenny Dalglish to come out of Scotland. He was scoring goals as if there was no tomorrow. And he's seen that as his basic spearhead, the 2 of them together. He thought they would complement each other. I think Mark Hughes has been difficult to play with, but at the same time, instead of introducing or bringing one player to play alongside him, he is a catalyst for the whole forward line. 3 or 4 players can actually play off him rather than one. So you never think of Manchester United as being McClair and Hughes. It's the whole forward line.
Mark Hughes had risen from the ranks of United's juniors to become one of the hottest properties in European football. He'd played his part in the FA Cup win of 1985, but stunned United supporters a year later when he joined Barcelona, signing off in true Sparky style with his 17th goal of the season.
Back come United then. Good ball through. Hughes, he's gone round the keeper. The goal's open, he scores! His 17th goal of the season. Absolutely immaculate. That's how the fans will remember him. A big Welsh striker hits them again.
Well, it was difficult. I think I had a lot of press that teams abroad were interested in me, and I think as a young player, you find it very flattering. So you're quite interested and you listen to what people are saying. But deep down, I don't think I really wanted to go. Well, I know I didn't really want to go, but I kept on talking to these people, and I never actually came out and said, no, I don't want to go. So I was coming to the end of my contract. I had another year, and I think the club felt that I was going to go anyway. So obviously they had to protect themselves. So they decided, and I didn't object because I didn't have the feeling that I could say, no, I don't want to go, because I felt, well, possibly that's what they want me to do, whereas they probably felt that's what I wanted to do. So it was a bit of confusion, really.
As Mark's contract at Barcelona came to an end, Munich, who had him on loan, were interested, but Alex needed him.
United wanted to bring me back, I think, over the Christmas before I actually did come back, but because of the tax thing and whatever, I decided just to wait. But come the summer, Bayern Munich wanted to sign me as well, but really there was only one choice. I wanted to come back here. Alex Ferguson, he came over. He came over on one occasion, and Archie Knox came over to see us play in the European Cup against Real Madrid, and there were always communication between myself and the club, really.
What I felt in the case of Mark Hughes was that whatever reasons for going to Barcelona, it certainly didn't go down well with the fans. Now, when you recognise the qualities Mark has, his tremendous power, he's a great individual talents, and he plays every week. You know, I felt that at 1.6, as it turned out eventually, it started off £1 million, but as always United have to pay that a bit extra. So I ended up 1.6. But I think if you sum it all up and analyse the contribution he's made, particularly in some important games, I think you have to say that he also was a tremendous buy at 1.6 million.
I think it's well documented that if I hadn't come back to United, I probably would have stayed in Germany with Bayern Munich, because I felt a great debt to them, really, because they'd taken a chance on me, and then it cost them quite a lot of money, really, to get me playing for them. And I, the way I was treated over there, I did feel some allegiance to them, but because it was United, there was only one place I was going, really.
By the start of 1988, Mark was a United player again, and returning to a team undergoing changes.
I think the manager realised that he needed to get rid of a few faces and bring the type of players that he felt would be able to make a push for the title, and that's what he did.
Hughes with his way through, he scored! 2-0, 67 minutes gone, and Mark Hughes scores his first goal back in English football. It's Manchester United 2, West Ham United 0.
Probably one of the most difficult, or the most difficult in the division. In the air, I would say sort of 7 out of 10 for Hughes. He's not great in the air because he's not a tall player, and but when the ball's up to around his neck, downwards to his feet, he is superb. I mean, his chest control, thighs, foot, anywhere, and he just gets his body between you and the ball, and you just can't nick it off him. He's just so close to the ground, and you know, low centre of gravity, and when you're standing up tall behind him, you can't see the ball because he's got such a great physique on him, and he can turn both ways. He's good with both feet. His right foot being the stronger foot, obviously. So generally, you try to push him towards his left, but he's got tricks as well. He's got the lot for a striker, and also he's got that little bit where you think you're going to get tight to him, and he might dummy it. And he's away. He's got that little bit of pace over about 5 or 10 yards, you know. I wouldn't say he's electric over 5 or 10 yards, but he's quick enough to get away from you. Or quick enough to get away from me, anyway. When you're playing against such a good player as usually when it goes up to his feet, there's not a lot you can do about it except to get him pushing the ball backwards, away from the danger again. It's when he turns, or when he starts to feel that you are not there, that he'll turn you, and then that's the danger. So really, there's not a lot. When it comes up to his feet, unless you get a lucky poke or he just slightly miscontrols it and you can get it on his first touch. But you can't, as the ball comes up, he's very difficult to get around. Allied to all this control and everything, his strength and his stamina, you know, he's there for the 90 minutes, and he's just a perfect player to play with. To play alongside, he must be a dream, you know. I think we could do without him. He can go back to Spain.
Mark Hughes, a prolific goalscorer, strong with a good physique, and will last the 90 minutes. Mark scored 16 goals in his first season back from Barcelona, and here are some of them.
by Stephen. Blackmore taking it up again. Hughes on the far side. Mark Hughes. A goal now in each of his last 5 league games.
He always seems to score past me, to be fair to him. No, he's an excellent striker. He's very strong, very skillful, and scores a lot of good goals. And the service he's been getting this year, and he's been knocking them in. It's been good for them.
They're very good players, but it shows they're good players because they're up there challenging Leeds United for First Division Championship. So they are good players. You know, I think Hughes is back now because he's been suspended, but yeah, he's a very good player. I'm sure they missed him in the last couple of games.
I don't think he scores a lot of goals inside the 6-yard box, but he gets his fair share. But his main asset is getting hold of the ball and making life difficult for the opposition, really, and providing a service to the wings, where they've got plenty of pace.
Tremendous as individuals, McClair and Hughes combined were more deadly still.
From Pelican to Sparky, I always avoid getting anywhere near him because, he was a little bit too physical for me, really. That's how I used to play against him. I always just set myself just to stay away from him, rather than try fighting, because you always end up losing.
And Brian McClair?
I never really marked Chucky because he always dropped off a little bit deep. But he was always a thinker, you see, and even if you did try and mark him, he'd go and practically go and stay in the touchline and, you know, say to you, come and mark me out here because you're doing nothing in there.
Mark Hughes, the fulcrum down the middle. McClair, who's come from deeper positions away from home where he scored so many goals. I don't think particularly he's a crowd favourite, but he scored so many goals. He's been invaluable. He dropped into that deeper role, the sort of Nigel Clough role, and then come forward. Very, very difficult to pick up.
They've got plenty of pace and power. They've got Mark Hughes, who is very good at holding the ball up, and everybody knows of his physical strength. And I'm sure everybody would recognise the work rate of Brian McClair. You know, he does a lot of work for them in and around the box. And then you've got the two young lads on the left, and like Lee Sharpe and Ryan Giggs, who similar players, I think, and with very good pace.
Lee Sharpe became the third member of Alex Ferguson's strike force, but did Lee know he was to become a member of such an elite team?
I didn't know at all, no. I mean, I'd only played about a dozen games in the first team. And it wasn't even towards the end of the season, it was about March time. And, you know, the manager just come to see me with the secretary one night and told me all about it, but until then I didn't know a thing.
It was a long drawn out thing in the sense that the day we signed him, we were faced with a decision. Cyril Knowles was the manager at the time. Cyril had played for Tottenham, and obviously, you know, that he and Bill Nicholson were very friendly, and I knew that Tottenham had been watching the lads. But it goes back a few months earlier to a former journalist from Manchester who does work for us in the south, Len Node. A lot of people remember Len, but he's retired and lives in Torquay. He phoned us round about the December of that season and says there was a promising young kid in the Torquay youth team to keep an eye on him. So we felt that, well, my attitude to it was, well, if he is good enough, he'll be in the Torquay first team shortly. and he was only 16 at the time. So that come the February, when Node phoned us to let us know that we was in the substitute bench for the game at Wolverhampton. So we had the game covered, and he came on as a sub. They were 2-0 down. Came on as a sub and made 2 goals in the last 20 minutes. So that alerted a lot of people, you know. So we felt that then, what do we do? Do we phone Cyril Knowles and then maybe get into an auction? Or do we go down one day and try to, if we fancy him, seal the deal immediately? So we took the second option, went down one Friday night, Archie and I, and met Len Node, sat in the stand and watched the game, Torquay and Colchester. We left 10 minutes to go. In fact, the funny thing about that was we went in there, had my hat on, my bonnet on, coat up over my ears, sat in the back of the stand, thinking I'm incognito, and a wee boy turns around and says, "Can I have your autograph, Alec?" Right away, so that was a right good start to the night. But nonetheless, we left 10 minutes to go, sat in the car and had a discussion about what we were going to do about it. So we felt that we should sign him. We shouldn't be go home and phone them. We shouldn't even attempt to ask him about the lad. We should stay there and try to get the deal sealed that night. So we waited for an hour after the game, and Lemon Node went in and spoke to Cyril and got him out in the car. So we sat in the car and didn't let him out until we he accepted our offer.
What time of the day did you actually complete the deal with him?
It was about 3 in the morning. It was about 3 in the morning. His secretary out of bed about 1:30 and did the deal. And then we got young Lee out of his bed first thing in the morning at 7 in the morning.
Well, I came up for a day before I signed to train and train with the first team. A couple of the players were cracking jokes, like, because it was raining. They says, "Oh, you better get used to it in Manchester, you know, it always rains." And they were great with me, really. I was surprised how good they were. I thought, you know, I don't know whether I'm good enough to be with all these. The first touch and the way they were comfortable on the ball and everything, just they looked the league above what I'd been used to. It takes a few months to sort of get your touch and get confidence and know the players. My league debut was West Ham on the Saturday. Nice warm day, we won 2-0, I think, so it went okay. I was concentrating so much on the day that once the game got underway, I never really heard the crowd. It's just the build-up before the game, and when you go out for a warm-up and you see the crowds coming in, that you start to get a bit nervous. But as the game goes on, and you get a couple of good touches, you start feeling confident, and it don't seem to worry you so much. You seem to try different things, and you're not afraid of trying different things, like, so, you know, things start to work for you. It's like when a team's at the top of the league and, you know, things go right. You know, everything I seemed to try seemed to do what I wanted it to do, really. The manager always used to slaughter me in training and things like that to keep my feet on the floor.
Your actual role here, has it been specified to you?
Mainly just get to the byline and cross the ball in. You know, beat fullbacks, get round the back of people and get the ball into the box for the forwards.
Lee is seen more as a winger than an out-and-out striker, but there is, of course, pressure to score on all the strike force.
A lot of the time, you know, you get pressure from the crowd, the supporters like you to score goals. With you being so far up front, they expect you to score goals. And then again, there's the pressure I put on myself to score. I scored 9 last season, and at the start of this season, I gave myself a target that I wanted to beat that. Obviously, with being out through injury, I'm not going to be able to score as many. But you know, the pressure I put on myself is probably the most pressure I'm under to score goals.
Now, you went out of the limelight a little bit due to injury. How did you cope with that period yourself?
It's very difficult at times, but I mean, it wasn't so much an actual 7-month layoff. I had little bits of where I was trying to come back, and then it went again. So I mean, it wasn't there were frustrating parts, but there were some times when I thought I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, but obviously didn't. I'm in the reserves. All I can hope to do really is, knock a couple of goals in and play well for the reserves. And hopefully, I mean, it's a bad thing to say, but you've just got to hope for inconsistency, from somebody that the manager can put you in. There's nothing else you can hope for really. When they're top of the league and they're winning games, you can't expect them to change the team. I hate watching. I seem to get more nervous watching than I do than playing. It's horrible. I don't like it at all. I was a little bit worried at first because I was worried that I might get swallowed up at such a big club at such a young age. But I mean, Manchester United from Torquay, you can't complain really.
With three of the strike force now a part of the United setup, Alex Ferguson began his search for another piece of the jigsaw, a right-wing talent to match that of Lee Sharpe. That quest was to take him to the other side of Europe. While this was going on, United picked up their first trophy under Alex Ferguson, and with Lee Sharpe out of action for most of the season, it was Mark Hughes and Brian McClair who played a vital role in the FA Cup success of 1990. 2 goals from Sparky secured a replay, the cup came back to Old Trafford, and savouring every moment was a youngster who would soon be ready to become a member of the strike force.
I was playing for Sunday League team, my local Sunday League team, and then I got spotted by Manchester City, and I trained with them every Thursday night at the Centre of Excellence until I was 13. So I trained with them for a couple of years, and then United spotted me and I signed for United.
He was one of the ones that, when I first came, that he was training with Manchester City, and we felt that, I was tipped off by one of our stewards, Harold Wood, and about the young lad, the local boy, who was training at City, and he was a United supporter. So we did our homework, got the boy down, and we worked really hard to get him to sign an S form from there on in, because you could see the minute he walked on the park and started to jog, that he was a footballer.
What age was he when you first got hold of him?
He was 13 then. He was 13, so it was my very first. I was only here a few weeks actually when it happened. So in a way we were lucky there. We were lucky he could be playing for Manchester City at this moment in time.
Well, I'd been at City for 2 years or so, and I liked it there. And then one Christmas I went down for trials at United, and I just loved it. I just thought it was brilliant. It was just brilliant. I've been to a couple of other clubs as well, like Preston and Blackburn and places like that, but couldn't beat United. It was the best. Coaches, the people, the other players, it was just brilliant. And just like Manchester United, play for Manchester United. One of the biggest clubs in the world. I used to play regularly in the A team when I first come to United. And that's where and then I'd play for the reserves, and then I was lucky enough to get in the first team.
Well, he's an exceptionally talented boy, and he's also a very brave boy. I mean, he shows no fear whatsoever, and he's very slightly made in the sense of the actual frame he has, but he's tough. He's got a wiry frame, and he's tough with it. He can handle the hurly-burly of our game. And all things being equal, and if he gets the breaks and keeps his feet in the ground, he's going to have an incredible career. If things are ever certain in life, he was a certainty, as a young player to make our first team. I mean, I remember playing out there at 15 years of age in the holiday period once against Viv Anderson, and Viv was astounded. He gave Viv a hard day about that particular day. And I suppose in a way Viv was maybe treating a bit light to begin with, because he's a wee 15-year-old kid here. I better watch it, don't damage him, But he was absolutely marvellous, and Viv shaking his head. And that's a man who will recognise a good player with the career he's had in football.
It took me a couple of days to realise that I'd made my debut, really. It didn't hit me until a couple of days later. But I loved every minute of it. It was at Old Trafford against Everton. I come on as substitute. And I was in a daze all the way through the game. It was just adrenaline pumping.
Around nicely here. This is McClair. McClair, a deflection there. Giggs coming in. Oh! I think Giggs got the last touch. It might have clipped off the defender, but they're certainly giving the goal to Giggs. And what better game could you score your initial goal for Manchester United in than against Manchester City? The crowd are going mad. It's United 1, Manchester City 0.
Some people said that it was mine, some people said that it wasn't. And I was the nearest person to the ball. At first it looked like I touched it, whereas it just bounced over my foot, and then Colin Hendry put it in the goal. So I don't think Colin Hendry didn't want it at the time, so I think everyone give it me. I think my first recognised goal was against Norwich this season, and all I remember is the goalkeeper coming out. I put it past the keeper, and it was a tight angle, and it just rolled in the near post, the far post, sorry.
Gordon for Norwich City. Fleck helps it on. This is Culverhouse. Alistair's head. Blades. And he's got Giggs away here. Terrible defending. And what a strike from Ryan Giggs. He kept his cool there. And that is a marvellous Manchester United goal.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's sort of hit the First Division by storm this year. Very, very quick, very strong, very knowledgeable for his age, and it's been a great find for them. They did the double over us, at Selhurst. It's fairly even in the first half, but the second half they took control and they dominated for longer periods and caused us a lot of problems and won the games.
An ambitious shot there by Ryan Giggs off the crossbar. It's gone in. Neil went completing it, but what tremendous skills by Ryan Giggs after 25 minutes.
Giggs is he's got 2 good feet as well. He's quick as well. So yeah, they've got a good squad.
But Ryan, he's a good player. You know, he's still only 18, and even with the experience of the Welsh squad a couple of times, he's got lightning pace. He's got great skill. So he's caused teams a lot of problems this season.
Ryan Giggs on the left side has just been exciting. He's been good to watch. I think even non-Manchester United people have enjoyed seeing him run with the ball, twist and turn, get crosses in from impossible situations, and most importantly, score goals himself.
But I suppose the main one would be someone like Giggsy, really. I mean, how would you mark someone like Giggsy? I mean, I wouldn't know where to start, really. Do you drop off him? Do you get up close to him? Because he's like a little worm, isn't he?
Giggs, and where's the Norwich defence? Because Giggs has got loads of space. It's off the post. Giggs. Still Giggs. That's a good return. Kanchelskis across the face. Hughes can't do it. Yes, he can. Robson with the header across, and Hughes was there to react. Crease his legs. The United are getting more and more into this one. Luton are just being totally eclipsed by the football that United plays. Ryan Giggs goes into the penalty area now. Ryan Giggs is looking for 4 goals, and United have, yes, got 4 goals now.
Main priority is to get crosses over, really. But when it's on the right, to be a third, like another centre forward, and get on the end of other crosses. Like Andrei putting over crosses, I'm to get on the end of them. So, but I think the main priority is to get it over to Sparky and Chucky, and let them get on with it. Not looking for goals at this stage. Like obviously goals are a bonus, but if I supply the goals, then that's what I'm there for. Really, wingers are there for, to supply goals, to get the crosses over. If it's a fast right back, then I'm not going to like kick and run. I've got to use skill and try and off balance and go inside, go outside. But if it's like fairly slow person, I first test him with pace, and then just try and knock it past him. Yeah, you get more confidence, and you try different things that you wouldn't have tried before, and like try little tricks and that. And you don't, go inside one time, go outside another, so they don't know what you're going to do next, or pass it, cross it first time, beat a man and then cross it. You've got to do different things really to keep guessing.
Ryan Giggs has just been the ultimate bonus to come through at 17, now 18, and be the potent weapon he is. It gives great balance on the left and right side. To lose a player of Sharpe's ability is a real body blow, but to replace him with Ryan Giggs, who's been or played as well as Sharpe did last season, has been fabulous for the team. And as I say, it's been the balance, the left side with Giggs and the Russian, I can't say his name, so the Russian on the other side.
That Russian on the other side is, of course, Andrei Kanchelskis, the final piece slotted into Alex Ferguson's carefully constructed jigsaw to make the strike force complete.
Я узнал от посреднической фирмы, которая занималась моими делами, узнал, что хотят английские клубы.
I first knew that clubs were interested in me when I came over to play for the Soviet Union against Scotland at Ibrox in February. Which teams were interested in me, I didn't know. And then when I returned, I was told that I was invited back to England for a trial period. I wasn't told which team it was, where I was going to. It could have been Everton, it could have been Manchester City, it could have been Manchester United. And it's only when I landed in England that I realised that it was Manchester United which had invited me for a trial.
Какая команда, или Манчестер Сити, или Манчестер Юнайтед. Я даже не думал. Но оказалось, что Манчестер Юнайтед.
Well, it's always difficult with Ireland at that particular time anyway with Russian players. One, that there's so many people involved. You have Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Labour, the club, agents, everywhere. We got a video of him playing against Italy in a 0-0 draw, and what I felt about looking at him was, well, here's a young lad, he's only 21 years of age, he's a tremendous physique, he was very fast, he's good technique. The things you don't know is how he can settle in England, how he could adapt to the English game, the language thing. These were all risk factors. But at 650,000 we felt that, well, it's a justifiable risk, that we felt we could get our money back if it didn't work. And in his first season you have to say that he's been an outstanding success, all things being equal. He has come from, he's only a young lad, he just got married in the summer. He and his wife settling in England, learning the language, understanding the English game. You have to say he's been an absolute outstanding success, a marvellous first season he's had. And I think we expected for a dip to come. And I think he's had a little dip. Hopefully now recharging himself and we'll get the best of him in the next few weeks.
Знал Манчестер Юнайтед, потому что у нас в газетах пишут они.
I knew Manchester United was a very famous team. We all know about Manchester United in the Soviet Union. And it was beyond my wildest dreams that it was Manchester United which had invited me for a trial.
Получится, что я окажусь в Манчестер Юнайтед. Было, конечно, мандраж, потому что первый раз это у меня...
You've got to appreciate my feelings as a 22-year-old player from the Soviet Union being invited to join a club like Manchester United. You've got to take into consideration my age, that I'm only young, I'm only 22, and for any foreigner to be invited to go and join Manchester United, it's a big honour and a big privilege.
Я очень молодой был, поэтому у меня было такое чуть.
Well, he has tremendous pace, but he has also tremendous strength in holding off defenders. And when he gets by them, very few will knock him out of the roads. And also, which is he's proved with he's got a receptive brain. He wants to learn about the game. The English game is different from the Russian game. There's a slower build-up. They play the sweeper. They're methodical. They take their time. But in our game, there's so many challenges, and the speed of the challenges means everyone has to react quicker. And he's learning that part. And also the other part is learning quickly is to play in a 4-4-2 system, where he's a winger 1 minute, and then he comes back into midfield to offer out help in a defensive capacity. Now, when he played for Russia, he was they operate him as a fullback, pushed on, pushed in, as they say in the England game. And they play a sort of a 5, and Andrei is a sort of a wide player, very much like England have been operating recently. And he has a lot of ground to make up playing for Russia. He's from one penalty box to the other. and I felt that for a young lad he did it very well. So I also looked at that situation, I said, well, he's tactically all right, he can understand the game, and I felt that I would help him here, and it has proved right. He's very receptive tactically, and he's improving bit by bit. There's areas in which he's still to improve, but considering it's his first season, we're well pleased with him.
Can he get on target here? Gets the shot in. Oh, great goal! What a superb goal from Andrei Kanchelskis.
Another lovely layoff by Ryan Giggs. Dennis Irwin away from Southgate. Eddie McGoldrick coming back, the cross coming over from Irwin, a header there by Brian McClair. It might fall for Kanchelskis, it does, it's 3-2 United.
Ended, but play on, says the referee. Robson helps it on towards McClair. Kanchelskis has broken free here. Kanchelskis has got the right side of his defender and finished it off in fine style.
Here's Kanchelskis, United on the break again. Space is opened up, still Kanchelskis, it's still Kanchelskis. Can he make it 2-0? He does now. Tremendous goal from Andrei Kanchelskis on the very stroke of half-time.
Delightful ball. Kanchelskis can put Manchester United ahead. And Andrei Kanchelskis has got Manchester United in front for the first time in the tie. It's Bruce who slots it through to Kanchelskis. Kanchelskis going through, shrugs off the defenders and slots his shot past Neville Southall. That was the finishing of a true international. The Ukrainian Fire slots the ball into the net. It's Manchester United 1, Everton 0.
I think the favourite was West Ham, where it was a volley. I think that was my best goal, where Brian McClair's crossed, perfect cross, and I've hit it really sweet, and it's just top corner.
Here's Brian McClair. Still McClair with it. Oh, he drifts beautifully past George Paris. Gets the cross and he comes to Giggs. What a brilliant finish. Ryan Giggs, first time on the volley. That was a sweet goal indeed. No wonder there's so many smiling faces out there. What a natural talent.
Oldham Athletic. Нет, Румандовс здесь, когда 2-0 выиграли.
Здесь, I think my best performance was not the Oldham Athletic game away when I scored what people thought to be a splendid goal, but my performance in the Rumbelows Cup game here when I was voted the man of the match.
Kanchelskis has broken free here. Kanchelskis has got the right side of his defender and finished it off in fine style. Oldham allowed him to get inside, and Andrei Kanchelskis has scored a useful goal for Manchester United.
And then the two against Leeds, one out here and one at their place, so I enjoyed them.
And Hughes gets it away to McClair. Lee Sharpe, the flag has stayed down. They say he's onside. Lee Sharpe now for Manchester United. And that has settled it. No doubt about it now.
I feel I scored a fairly spectacular goal against Liverpool on New Year's Day a few years ago. We'd gone 1-0 down, eventually came back to win 3-1. That was a nice goal.
Helping out. Ball across. Oh, what a volley there from Brian McClair. Absolutely exquisite. The defenders stood in awe as McClair launched himself to knock that one in on the volley.
if you score a goal against Liverpool, it's usually a decisive goal. So the feeling of relief and joy from scoring against them is filtered through you to all the fans. So those are quite special.